here today, and I want to sincerely appreciate the admiral of this organization. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm always shy when I'm in the midst of Muslims. I know I'm a young person, so sharing my story, sharing my experience is always a privilege to me. And I'm also happy to have my, let's say, somebody I admire so far in the industry, and in the person of co-founder of Vanguard Pharmacy. Thank you very much. I'm honored to meet you today as well. I met her last year at Shippings, and I'm privileged to also meet her today. I also had a goal that she's one of the speakers here today, and I was really looking forward to meet her because I had a discussion with her at that event that day, and I'm happy to inform her that, and I got my product network approved, and I'll be willing to supply your stores, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you to Mrs. Bello for inviting me. She also recommended me to Amira of this organization. Thank you so much. I started my business with my NYSC allowance in 2021. I started with 3,000 naira with my NYSC allowance. I didn't come from a rich family. I came from an average family, and I'm the first daughter of my family, also the first child of my family. I saw alarming statistics on my... Okay, mix up. Okay, so on NYSC in 2021. Before that NYSC, I also had a mission, I had a goal, because I was seeing some statistics online on malnutrition and vitamin deficiency. And below 5 years, not a man suffer. If I mean, I'm hospital, from hospital, not money, all those deficiencies, such as jaundice. Fellow me when they discharge at the right time, so those are some of the effects of malnutrition, even from the onset of pregnancy from the mother. And according to statistics, the WHO, about 30% of Nigerian children below the age of 5 suffer from vitamin A deficiency, which makes their immune system very, very weak, even from the onset of development. So, at the movie statistics read online, I was so disturbed, I was so worried that what would have happened? How can I make impact in this sector? So, when you ask me, making organizations go on in Nigeria, who are these organizations focusing on this malnutrition? Who are those working in this sector to improve the livelihood of children and also the livelihood of adults, to make them have foods that are more nutritious, that are not full of chemicals like we import outside Nigeria. So I made this decision that we need to shape on. And we don't think we can contribute. Most of us are now pay our Tony big industry and the economic shape on. Our Tony big industry and the economic produce with the tangent. But if I also can do something. I can also make impact in this sector. So more institutions can share food security, more common select. Even God, that was then when she graduated, you know, if it's a matter of NYSC, over the institution to one shape, one in but who will like to share your job. So more research, I made research online. Who are those people that can connect with, that will make me do my NYSC, the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IIT. So after research, I also met some of my mentors. I discussed my vision with them, my goals with them, and they were willing to help. So we needed to write letters that I really need to do that my NYSC in IIT, because IIT focused on some of the mandate crops that we deal with in Nigeria, and some of these vitamin A fortified foods in Nigeria. So we have almost like 4 fortified products. Our fortification we on my increase the nutritional content of crop, big cassava and jet, on my increase the nutritional content, they actually need more vitamins and nutrition. So I need normal white cassava, there is also yellow cassava, not in green, it is called vitamin A cassava. So those are the crops that they call the fortified crops. So we also have vitamin A cassava, we have vitamin A maize, we have the vitamin A potato. Chawari white potato, I need orange potato. Company vitamin A potato, company orange plus sweet potato. white nínú. So eléyìí pé ní vitamin A potato yẹn ìta ẹ̀ ó orange inú ẹ̀ náà ó orange. So that is the potato they call vitamin A potato, and that is the crop I'm using for my own food products. So I process this into flour for baking. You can use to make any conventional or bulk cake and all. Also flour for swallow. Other for diabetic patients, the one show up fat content, one in cassava. These products are very healthy for them. So I also have the potato garri that is not made from cassava, purely potato meat. So in order to make so I wanted to make impact in the malnutrition sector and how to contribute to make this nutritious food more accessible to everyone. So in fact, I didn't have so much support because I also asked one question within myself: where can I start from? How do I start? I know food sector is a very big industry that we have to have some certain equipment to start with. Even some of this equipment, the tiniest equipment that you can get is about 500,000 naira. So I was worried, I was concerned that as long as I'm inside this institute, I have to make a living for myself. I have to start anyhow. So I needed to reach out to some of the scientists in that organization. I knocked on their doors, I asked questions, even though I was shy. One of the scientists that I first met, and it got more coming, other scientists more coming face to face, a question. I was shaking. So even that scientist noticed that something was wrong with me, and it was because I didn't have confidence to face it physically and ask the questions I needed to ask. But apart from that, I didn't stop there. Even though he told me no, that I couldn't help, I had to start research. I had to start knocking on people's doors that I need to make something. Though there is this potato in Nigeria and also some other southwestern parts, it's not available in the open market. That's the issue. But only our farmers for cultivated. So I needed to get to that farmers. How much they give farmers go? How much they collect the new one? So if I can reach out, see our people, I want to really contact. That is why collaboration is key. You want to do something that you feel that it's only you that can do it. You cannot do it all alone, especially when you're in the entrepreneurship journey. You have to reach out to people, collaborate with people, ask questions. You don't always have to find answers to the question that you have in mind. It is when you ask from people that are way ahead of you, that's when you can get answers from them. So I ask questions, I reach out to people, and I was privileged to get help from them. And today, with the willing of God, even though I'm not where I want to be, at least I started with equipment that I do not have, but with people that were ready to help me. So I made use of their equipment to develop products láti fi ṣe nǹkan pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ tí mo fi bẹ̀rẹ̀. Wọ́n yá mi ní equipment yẹn tí mo fi bẹ̀rẹ̀. Mo sanwó kéékèèké tí mo bá ti fẹ́ lo equipment yẹn. And even at this moment, one of the major equipment that we are still using is still in partnership with NSPR, Nigerian Stock Product Research Institute. We are still using their equipment today. And báwo ni mo ṣe get pẹ̀lú àwọn people yẹn? It was also through one of the mentors that I have in our ITA that I reached out to. So he connected me with this person in that institute, and I was able to get access to that equipment. Till today, I'm still using it. And even at that, he was able to mentor me, offer me our strategies at global emotional business strategy, and mo fẹ́ lọ bá even nǹkan tí mo bá ṣe product yìí gan báwo ni mo ṣe fẹ́ tà. It's not a common product that is available in the market. You have to work more on awareness. You have to make people be aware of what you do. You have to go for exhibition. And even till today, any exhibition they want to have in our ITA, I'm always invited. It's because I did not make my age to determine who I want to be. Even though I'm young, I was in a gathering yesterday, and I'm the youngest of them all. I was not being a question for it there. And more being a any that market estimate how old are you? Ọmọ ọdún mélòó ni ẹ? Kí ló dé tó ń ṣe nǹkan tó ń ṣe yìí? Kí ló ti ẹ̀sìn iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe yìí? And whenever I ask this question that how old are you, I'm always being happy within myself that at least people have recognized what I'm doing. Even though I'm not there yet, but at least people know that this is what I'm doing. And one of the key parts that I would like to advise, I know we as Muslims, we are in that program, and in the corporate for not anyone, no one in program. Out of over 6,000 applications that apply for that nǹkan báyìí tiẹ̀ láàrin wa wọ́n ní ká pitch business wa so nígbà tí ẹni yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ ẹni yẹn tí wọ́n á béèrè pé one of the man now ask the person obìnrin kan báyìí tiẹ̀ pé ṣé tó bá fẹ́ pitch torí we have our final I travel down here because I want to honour this invitation so we have our final pitch on Monday and wọ́n sọ wọ́n béèrè olùkọ́ báyìí tiẹ̀ pé tó bá fẹ́ pitch business ẹ̀ ṣé kò ní láti fi ojú ẹ̀ so ẹni wọ́n béèrè padà yìí pé ṣé ṣíṣe ojú ló máa jẹ́ kó qualify láti gba nǹkan tó fẹ́ gbà ní wọ́n dẹ̀ reply padà pé no èṣe ṣíṣe ojú ẹ̀ pọ̀ nǹkan tó wà ní ọpọlọ nǹkan tó bá sọ ló máa dìtàmí bóyá o lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti gba grant àbí o lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ so I would just like to advise us that whatever we are doing any business we are doing we have to make more research on it nǹkan tó sún mi débi masters degree mi ni pé torí pé raw material tí mò ń lò potato tí mò ń lò kò common ní open market so I need to make more research on how it will be available for me all year round so I'm currently working on a research on potato production so whatever we are doing we also have to think of long-term goals what are some of the challenges that I have encountered I have encountered challenges such as access to equipment like I've said but I do not allow that to degrade or deter wherever I want to be I reach out to people I collaborate with people that have that equipment to make me use it and I pay mo sanwó ẹni tó bá ní equipment yẹn ó máa yá mi màá sanwó tí mo bá fẹ́ lò títí tí màá fi lè rí equipment yẹn and alhamdulillah I'll be able to get some of the equipment that I'm using at the moment even though I don't have the largest of all I'm still able to get some of the things I'm still using at the moment so that was one of the challenges that I encountered during my journey access to equipment and access to funding like I said I started with a 3,000 naira for my product development and apart from that 3,000 naira people I met some of the local people in the industry that were ready to even though some people said no but I still met people that were ready to help me ready to help me to get my product to into the limelight ready to introduce my product to more people and whenever I apply to opportunities like that there are many opportunities that favours women a lot our women na enjoy see whenever they want to bring any opportunities to Nigeria they always say women first so ìkọ́ tó wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n ní kí n bá pọ̀ wọ́n lè pé mo ti sọ.
Àwọn àlékún àrùn tí wọ́n bá àwọn ti sọ̀rọ̀ tó pọ̀ bá dẹ̀ wípé ó yẹ ká ti bẹ́ẹ̀ níbẹ̀ máa sáré summarize nǹkan tó sọ lórí àwọn nǹkan tó sọ she mentioned research before she started research was her first she tried to look at what is the problem in the society that she want to solve because she was able to identify a problem and how do you solve that problem and she did the research thoroughly she was able to look at there is a problem of malnutrition and this is what she wants to do she was curious about it so curiosity setting you know those are the attributes of an entrepreneur you must be curious what is the problem how do I go about it that will help you and she has the determination when people say no she's not ready to receive that no she still keep going that she must find solution to the problem that she's looking for and that is the one to solve and she mentioned collaboration which is very very key she's not doing it alone she's not doing it in isolation she look for people around the people with the same passion with the same ideology that is how she was able to solve that problem she look for where she can get help and she went there that bold step a lot of us do not take it as a young girl she was able to take that bold step and she faces a lot of challenges and you know these challenges she keep on going and when somebody keeping when any kind of challenge when they are still moving then there is a passion behind it that is the driver that keep you going so we will still come for the second section but one time especially to bring us because I know she started very well I know when she started her business and I know the passion she has also she just give us a brief history of her own business then when we come back for the second section then she will elaborate it.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shakira Kwasibeli and I run a yogurt business in Ibadan. The name of my brand is Wash Everything. So for me, starting a yogurt business was not really about sitting down and doing we said, or you know, all of us get to different destinations, but different things push us to where we meet ourselves. So I'm a pharmacist. Now when I graduated from school, I started working at two pharmacy all over there as a local pharmacist. So I used to work in the evening and it was during Ramadan. So most times, we got to two money, but we were living share. And they were paying all of them, even before the bed. Cooking some gentlemen, and all that. So starting lots of share every afternoon, I will go to Abib yogurt. I will buy Abib and I will go to work. So starting she will be sharing what more money, and when I get to, I will now eat normal food. So normally I used to be an ulcer patient, like me, delay Balogo and Ramadan. For the whole of 30 days, by 20th day, 21st day, I'll be having very serious pains that I won't be able to continue fasting. So much like that one by 2 months, you have to that. So we noticed in that particular year, I fasted the whole of Ramadan. And I was surprised that what did I do differently? So I noticed that I took yogurt. So I was like, oh, is it possible that yogurt is very beneficial to people that have ulcer? So that was what led to me reading about yogurt. I didn't even pay so much attention until I now started my internship at FMC Abeokuta. And it was now Ramadan again. So I was looking for yogurt. And I did not find any yogurt. I didn't find a big yogurt in Abeokuta. So I was I came to my sister to come and meet a big yogurt that Spirit for Matter yogurt from Abeokuta. So they said they don't have anybody distributing. I said they should give me their requirements that I'm ready to be a distributor. All this while, I'm always selling one thing or the other. So I'm always open to selling. So I said, let me be selling it. When they gave me the requirements, and I was out to be generator, so I was saving money to do all these ones. I just went back to Abeokuta. I was telling a friend of mine about it, and he said, instead of selling another person's brand, why don't you produce your own yogurt? I said, no possible, that can I make yogurt from where to? He said, yes. So he sent me a brand in Lagos. The name of the guy is Delhi Yogurt. In that picture, I was taking the guy's yogurt. I said, he can make yogurt. The guy said, it's his friend that he will never know to show. Is it possible? I was really curious. So I started looking for who would teach me how to make yogurt. So I didn't get, this was 2018, until 2019. I saw different people. Some people say, I will teach you. I will not tell you where to buy ingredients. Some people say, I will teach you, I'll still be the one buying the ingredients for you. I'm like, check out me, business today. Why can't you tell me where to buy these things myself? So you raised my curiosity, and I'm like, I want to get to the roots of this thing. So luckily, I eventually found one woman that taught me in September after my NYSC. After my NYSC camp, I went for camp, and she taught me a rate of 10,000 naira. That woman is not even doing yogurt business at all. So that was where it started for me. And when I started, I realized that when she taught me that I should use gelatin as part of the ingredients. So I was worried that gelatin don't shape fondant. How can people be drinking? She said that pull it back, take that. So when I got back home, I was curious. I cannot be putting. I started thinking about gelatin. I thought I could be heavy, but I was not convinced. And I saw that on Abib yogurt sticker, there was nothing like gelatin on it. So I sat down in my house. Every time I will not be trying different recipes. A lot of people that are here today that have tasted my yogurt know that it is very, very thick. I did not set out to say, I want to go and make a thick yogurt. But because of me trying to remove gelatin as an ingredient to thicken it, so that was how I arrived at my own personal recipes. And I now realize that it makes it more healthy, like it makes it more beneficial to the health. And any yogurt probably contain other additives like preservatives, gelatin, they would not serve the purpose that you want it to serve. The benefit that yogurt does in ulcer patients, yogurt in the organism they were very, very useful in our body, in the stomach. So, preservatives, organism, so normal yogurt. So the yogurt the missing, another yogurt, still so I was very concerned about making sure that my brand contains those beneficial organisms, and that was what led me to the business in food. And I did not even still see the business like that. I was just still lounging with it until I saw that it could give me a lot of financial independence. I used to be an importer. And I don't know if she remembers, sometimes in 2020, when COVID happened, my importation business crashed. I lost a lot of money. There was a time people admitted that she can't borrow me money, that I'm into a lot of debt, I was doing, it was a lot of problem. And I couldn't just get solutions to all my problem at that time. And that was what now made me say, okay, let me go take this yogurt business as a business. It is low, although to start, it is very low capital intensive. For expanding, it is limited capital intensive, but when you do something, my belief is that when you do something today, where you are today is not where you will be in the next 1 month, in the next 1 year. So when we come back, I'll be able to elaborate more on my journey, my experience, and all that I've been through in a yogurt seller. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Kiro. I think there are some things that are common between them. We talk about research, curiosity, and trading. And you see, at times, as still in university, she's a pharmacist. During the course of her business, she brought her profession into the yogurt production because she was able to identify that a particular ingredient is harmful to women. It's because of the knowledge she has. She was able to identify and she was able to look for a replacement for that ingredient. So, to be a good entrepreneur, you must look for a solution, look for a replacement, think outside the box. What can I do that I can do better than what other people have been doing? When you are doing the same thing with other people, there is no value in it. But when you do something different from other people, you bring in a value, and this is what makes you an entrepreneur, and this is what gives you to have something when other people do not have, because they are not doing what you are doing. That is what they call entrepreneurship. When you are doing something that other people are not doing, and you are getting a result other people are not getting, you will demand what other people are not having. So that is the trick behind it. So by the time they come in the second section, they will be able to tell us how they get financial support, whether from their family or from other means. So let's wait for them for the next section. Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Repeat them again in business clinic.
She has done, but I'm sure that as a lecturer, she has done a whole lot of justice to the topic and mixing the Yoruba and English together. I might not be able to do that very frequently, but I'm sure I'll try to communicate as much as possible. And the topic before me is the role of financial literacy in promoting entrepreneurship spirit and economic empowerment among Muslim women. So today what we'll be looking at is I will try to talk about the introduction, why we need to understand financial literacy, understanding financial literacy, how it helps entrepreneurs. I would delve into my story as an entrepreneur, the barriers that Muslim women face in achieving economic empowerment, practical steps towards financial empowerment, and the role the community and institutions play. Of course, call to action, question and answer, please. There's this African adage that says that educate a woman and you educate the nation. And that is why we have to ensure that this topic is coming at a time that as Muslim women, we have relaxed so much. We have taken the back seat for so much a long time, and the reality is that it is something that we have to discuss for us to be able to move forward as an human. There is another quote inspired, it's an Islamic quote: give a woman financial wisdom and you would have given her generations of strength. We need financial wisdom. When we talk about financial literacy, it doesn't have to be with entrepreneurs alone. The reality is that everyone cannot become an entrepreneur. That is the truth. Some people will have to still be entrepreneurs. They are working in organizations. Some people will have to be public servants, and a whole lot of other sectors that we will find ourselves. And I'm sure that the people that we have here today, it's a mixture of different sectors of people. So when we talk about financial literacy is, in layman's terms, it is not anything outrageous or something big. It is just that understanding how to make wealth, or understanding how to create wealth, how you can actually save it and also grow it. That is the basis of financial literacy. And that is what a whole lot of people don't understand. They can make the wealth, but they cannot save, not to even talk of growing. And if you cannot grow the wealth, you will realize that your wealth will keep diminishing because of issues like inflation. Things would, the economy, prices of commodity will keep changing, and you realize that if you have 100,000 today, your 100,000 cannot be the same tomorrow or in 5 years' time. You might still think that physically you have that 100,000, but you have lost your wealth because what your 100,000 can do today you will not even be able to do tomorrow. And that is why we talk about ensuring that we grow this wealth. So for Muslims, as for Muslim women, financial literacy is not just about making money. It's about building stability, contributing to our communities, supporting our faith, and fulfilling our God-given potential. A lot of us, we have a lot of potentials, but we are not using it. We realize that in social media today, when you see in universities, when they are doing graduations or inductions into different professions, most of the time, the people that always top the class, do you know? Who are the people that always top? They are Muslim sisters, Israelites and all that. So if they could have gone through those rigors and come out on top, why are we not seeing a lot of Muslim sisters flying out there? What happened to us after school? What next? That is not the peak. That I'm done with school, I've come out with a first class or CGPA or whether over 4 or over 5, 4 points. People are nearly having 5. We've had people that have 5 and they are Muslims. But at the end of the day, what happens? We must ensure that we keep on to the mantle and keep soaring or flying. Let people know that Muslims are not, they can't push us back. Because we cover our head does not mean that we cover our brain. At least we have more knowledge now, unlike before. For some of us, while we were in the university, in my department, while I was in 200 level, I was the only one that was covering my head in the entire department of geology. There was no other female. But you know, you could hold on to it. When people approach you and they're looking, why is it not covering your pain and all that? But we have moved away from that era. That discussion has changed. We have more females, we have more Muslims in the universities, in all those faculties, and they've helped us. So if we are not having it more easy and we can come out strong, then what are we doing to impact the environment? As Muslim women, we have a whole lot of role in playing, not even just with our immediate family. What we have been discussing here is more about financial literacy to be able to help us within our nuclear family. Nuclear family don't need. But we have responsibilities outside for other Muslim women, for the woman. We hear a lot of stories, and they are very sad stories. Not even talking about someone that has reached the age of 51, at least what is they become. But we have sisters that you will hear that they want to give birth in the hospital. They cannot put out the bill, the clothing, the essential things that they will need for birth. They don't have. What is lacking? It is about financial literacy. So, the role of financial literacy in promoting entrepreneurial spirit, economic empowerment among Muslims goes beyond just talking about business. It's not just starting a business, it goes a long way. It's about transforming our mindset, encouraging self-reliance and unlocking the immense potential that lies within every woman. We have a lot of potential. There's a lot of things that we can do. If we are married, we should not limit our potentials. We should be able to carry on with the kind of potentials that we have. It is not everybody that might have to leave the home to go and work. With this age and time that we have with technology, a lot of people are doing so well. They are not even Muslim women. Their offices are in their homes. It is not that maybe their husbands have limited them. They are not limiting them. But they have seen that even in their space, if you are listening to Sister Shakira, most of these things, she talked about the yogurt that they introduced that to. The person started from our home, or from his home. What are we doing in our mini space, in our micro space? Are we impacting? So, why financial literacy matters for Muslim women? Number one, it gives empowerment and confidence. Well, we always talk about empowerment. Leaders, the government talks about empowerment, and they give people money as empowerment. But you realize that, is it taking us out of poverty? No, because people that don't have the financial literacy, when you give them that money, they can't grow it. So what is lacking is about the financial literacy that is needed to ensure that there's no amount that you cannot start a business with in today's economy and you will not try. It's about how well you understand how to be able to grow that money. Breaking dependency. How women depend solely on their spouse or their family. You see people that are married, apart from they still have to get back to their parents, both they are around, this, we have to. What is your own work? What is your own contribution that your family, your mom or your parents that have labored so much are still the one that you are married and they are still feeding for you? Yes, it is not as if they cannot. They can support, they can help, but it should not be that no, I have to go to every small thing. You want to run back to your parents, you want to run back to your sisters, your siblings. Your siblings have their own problems. They have their headache. They have their own financial issues. We must ensure that we also liberate ourselves to ensure that we don't only run back. Let people to be able to run to you too. Your own sibling, younger sister, sibling, your cousins, your nephew, let them be able to run to you too. What do you want to say? So Islam has not limited us, and we should not limit ourselves. So it makes us better role model if we understand financial literacy. Role model in the aspect that we are in the days of technology, social media. What are our daughters, what are our children feeding themselves with? Are they seeing role models in us? You're struggling, they don't want to be like you. So they are looking outside for people to be their role model. And in those people might be the people that will misguide them and lose their dream. There's a whole lot of things. So if we understand financial literacy, it can enable us to be able to train our children and train them very well, and they will see us as a role model. It helps our health and fulfillment. The reality is that when we earn and we can manage our earnings, even with financial literacy, not just managing your own resources or your money, you will be able to manage the resources of your husband very well. You will be able to know that even when you have to manage, you have this little amount, you will know how you can actually multiply it. But when you don't understand, so the environment that we find ourselves, there's something that we call the VUCA principle. It's uncertain. Nobody knows what tomorrow holds for us. She talked about my sister, Shakira spoke around COVID. That's part of the volatility of the environment. When COVID came, a lot of people did not know what was going to happen. We did not even know that COVID, something like that was coming. But when COVID came, a lot of people lost their money, whether as business owners or whether as whatever. But that is the reality. So if you are not planning for the future, the uncertainty will catch up with you, and you begin to see a lot of people will begin to say, around 1990, maybe 1980s, the economy was far better. The reality is that the best of economy that you can have is today. That is the reality, because amamati ọdún ni. When it comes to by the year 2030 or 2028, you will see people letting claims to 2025, 2024, 2023 as best years, and we are complaining now. So the reality is that the environment is very volatile, uncertainty, and we need to have financial literacy. We can move on. So, understanding financial literacy means having the knowledge and skills to make wise and informed financial discipline. Understanding how to earn, how to save, how to budget, how to invest, and how to be able to take care of your future. So, even if you are in maybe private or public sectors, you don't have the entrepreneurial spirit, what are you doing with your money? Gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ alájẹtán, alájẹṣẹ́kù la gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́. So no matter what you earn, you must be able to save part of it, no matter how small it is. We will say that the economy is bad. Minimum wage today probably 70,000. You realize that when people were earning 30,000 minimum wage, they were surviving. Now it is 70,000. They were complaining. They started earning 70,000 and it has gone up for different, but the reality that everybody is still complaining. So while we were earning 30,000, if you cannot save, if you earn 70, you will not save. If you earn 500,000, it is not a cost. You will find it very difficult to save because your expenses, your needs will keep growing. If you are able to wear maybe an abaya of maybe 5,000 naira, by the time you are earning more, you begin to look at it. Only 10,000 with the lower thing will pay out 20,000. Those that you were not looking at before, those are the things that you will begin to look at. So the reality is that your expenses, your needs will keep growing if you cannot save. And I remember when I was young, when my dad built his house and they were doing the housewarming, one of my grand aunt's friend was there. Mama ended up by there. So she came, and while she was praying, she said that anything oban bawo, no matter how small, so when you're back in, feel but in that the shepherd don't ballet. Save KKK nínú owó yẹn kò lè kọ́lé, because it will never be enough. And that is why we have to talk about you must be able to save. When you earn, you must save. Apart from saving, you must think of budgets. Our sister talked so much about budget. It is not for you to be able spending beyond your budget. Then, of course, investment. As public servants, what is next? People will retire at the age of 60. Those in academics that maybe or in the hospitals that are going to 70. After 70. You would need your basic needs, and at that age, there is a whole lot apart from feeding. Most times, the health would have been tolerated. So you would have some basic medications that you will be using. How do you want to? But if your children are still trying to find their feet, they've not even been able to take care of that, then what happens to you? And that is why we have to ensure that as maybe salary earners, we must invest. There are a lot of allowed investment that you can put your money in so that it will take care of your retirement plan. The Islamic view says that Islamic encourages moderation, accountability, and stewardship over wealth. When we have our wealth, it doesn't mean as females or Muslims we should spend anyhow. We must be moderate in spending, and even the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that we should not be a person that's tilting towards any of the extreme. So whenever we have our money to it, we must ensure that moderacy is very, very important. So let us delve into entrepreneurship. How does financial literacy fuel entrepreneurship? Number one, it helps you to manage startup capital wisely. When you are starting up your business, your money that you're using to start it can never be enough. No matter how small it is, if you have financial literacy, you would be able to manage that money so that not every day that you sell. Would I go you by that down? Okay. So how financial literacy fuels entrepreneurship? Tí o bá ní financial literacy, tí o bá máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ business, ó máa ń lè jẹ́ kí o lè manage owó tó fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ business dáadáa. A lè jẹ́ kí o mọ ìyàtọ̀ láàárín ojú owó àti èrè so that èèyàn ò ní ná àti èrè àti ojú owó. Most of businesses tí business bá kú, a máa ń fẹ́ tọ́ka sí oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tí ó wà ní environment wa. Bóyá government policy, epo wọn, kò sí iná, kò sí oríṣiríṣi, la máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ school fees àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n, a lot of those things la máa attribute on failure of our business. But the reality is that when our businesses fail, púpọ̀ nú ẹ̀ ọwọ́ wa ló wà because we did not manage our capital very well. We were dipping hand into ojú owó. Èrè gan-an a lè ná gbogbo èrè business tán. And that is why we talk about financial. Tí o bá ní financial literacy, ó máa ń jẹ́ kí o lè understand beyond just your capital and profit. There are a lot of elements in entrepreneur or in business, such as cost. Èló ni mo rajà tí mo rà, èló ni mo ń tà. Ọ̀pọ̀ ìgbà tí yàn bá rajà bí arajà ní 100 naira or arajà 1,000 naira bí ata ní 1,002. A máa ń rò pé bí gbogbo 200 naira orí ẹ̀yẹ ní èrè wa. 200 naira tó wà lórí ẹ̀ kò kì í ṣe èrè wa. It is in business or in accounting, it refers to as the gross profit. Gross profit dẹ̀rẹ̀ torí owó tí yàn máa yọ kúrò tó máa lọ ná gbogbo ẹ̀ because there are a lot of expenses tí yàn fi ń ṣe business tí o gbọ́dọ̀ ná ní owó yẹn láti fi cater. Rent máa dì ó lè jẹ́ nígbà tí yàn fẹ́ gba shop, ó lè jẹ́ àbúlò gba shop fún yàn. Mo ń lọ sí ibi iṣẹ́ mọ́tò àbútí rà wọ́n lè kó sí. So trap gbogbo kìíní yẹn as cost. We are seeing 200 naira èrè mi ni so tabata in 10 places a máa sọ̀rọ̀ 2,000 naira mo ti jèrè 2,000 naira. Meanwhile, à ń lọ sí ibi iṣẹ́. There is a cost of getting yourself to work, but you are not factoring it in. Ṣímọ́ nítorí pé wọ́n ti gbé mọ́tò tí wá nídìí, wọ́n dẹ̀ ti ra epo sí. So rí as part of the cost. Wọ́n ti sanwó rent bóyá ọdún méjì lọ́sọ̀ àti gbàgbé pé ọdún méjì ń bọ̀ àbí ọ̀la ó máa pé you need to renew your rent. How do you want to run back to Abu after doing business of 2 years to say that rent it is due? You've been doing business and you're saying I'm going to make profit. So we need, when you have financial literacy, it will help you to be able to understand your cost, your markup, your margins, and a whole lot. It encourages innovation and avoiding debt traps. When you have financial literacy, a lè jẹ́ ká máa lọ kóra wá sí inú gbèsè. Even téèyàn bá yáwó, you could need money, you want to expand, but you must even know when do I need external fund or people's money. A number of times people always say, báwo ni business? Capital náà ni, kò sí capital kò tó kò ṣe, and you are just looking for people to borrow you money. Are you sure you truly need people to borrow you money? Are you sure that you are maximizing ìyàn sì ń ṣe dáadáa kó tó fẹ́ lọ gbowó? Ẹni tó lákàntì kò sákọsílẹ̀ kankan bó ṣe kéré ó mọ, mo ti tajà lénìí, mo ń lọlé bí mo ṣe ń lọlé, mo rí ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀, mo fẹ́ ra plantain, mo máa ra ata, mo máa ra igbá, ọmọ máa jẹun, wọ́n lọ sí school lọ́la, mo fẹ́ ra biscuit, mo fẹ́ ra bobo. As the whole money that you have collected is what you are using to buy all those expenses You have not been able to differentiate. At the end of the day, you are complaining because you don't understand Ojowo and the area. So at the end of the day, when you collect people's money, you will find yourself in debt traps. It promotes long-term planning and resilience in business. There are times there where wahala mawa, cost of things will go up, uncertainty will happen. But when you have financial literacy, it will help you. You can, and if you say, in the next 5 years, kilo le ṣẹlẹ̀, in the next 10 years, you only mark baton, but I'm assuming because of the knowledge, tí need láti lè predict what the future would be like. So, in entrepreneurship, most of the problem that people talk about is about finances. I know that when Shakira was talking, she said that when you start, you can start with your money. At a point in time, your business begins to grow and expansion becomes a problem. When we look at sources of funds, we can categorize it into two. We have the internal and the external funds. The internal funds, number one, a number of times, I'm sure that people seated there won't see their business. They are looking to start a business venture. But if you ask them, what do you want to do? They have a lot of ideas. Idea and lórí mo lè ṣe léyìí tí n bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ra kinní kan níbí tí n bá gba bóyá lush yogurt láti kinní kan wọ́n máa fún mi lóye báyìí mo lè ka lóye báyìí mo lè ṣe. The ideas are enormous. So how do you start? Owó iná ni owó. If I have money, I can start. If you want to start business, you should not look for people's fund to start. You must have your personal savings, and that is number one source of internal financing. As you are having idea, you should have some money to be able to back it up. So that tíyàn bá tiẹ̀ lọ bá bóyá ọ̀rẹ́ èèyàn tàbí ẹ̀gbọ́n èèyàn tàbí òbí èèyàn láti ní kán ràn mí lọ́wọ́. When you have talked, your idea is so fantastic. Mashallah, nice. Very interesting. But but you don't have any money. Who wants to give you their money to do experiments? At the end of the day, the money goes down the drain. Like I said, yes, your siblings, they have responsibility, your parents have, but don't forget, they have their own responsibilities. And that is why Yoruba need Omotoba Shipa. So if you don't have any money, people will just tell you the idea is fantastic. You would hardly get the support. But when you talk about the idea, okay, so BLO my cost, and I'm looking like I need about 250. Okay, so BLO rebuy, money be 150, okay, 150. Okay. So I know that at least you have something. Even if I want to give you 50,000, I might have the 100,000 that I can even give you. But I'm looking that I don't want to indulge you. I just think if you need 50,000, for her them 150. I just carry if it's only a bad day, which mama balo, and that is why we talk about. Number two is for your internal source is family and friends. Tabani do. Before we begin to look at that will have to pay some maybe amount back on it or something, you must look at your family and friends. And there's this adage that says that the value of your net worth is your net worth. We have, while we were in school, we have a whole lot of friends, sisters that were together, and people have gone into different spheres of life. People are doing well. Some people are medical doctors, they are in the hospital, they are doing so well. They have money in savings. So if I'm now coming to go and meet my friend that I'm doing this business, I want to expand, I need Kenny Ejami Lowo, Owuno Mamaru, Owo to Tujo, to the Pojola, Timba Kufu. Tí kò bá rí dá padà kí ni mo fẹ́ ṣe ọmọ ìyá mi ni máa bà sírí ẹ̀ náà ni, but it will not go down because the person needs the money for something. So that is why some people might not be able to come out and borrow you. But if they can see that the business that you are doing well, you are talking in terms of numbers, oye báyìí ni mo máa ń rà tí n bá ra ọjà oye báyìí tí n bá máa fi ta báyìí mo ti rí oye báyìí mo ti rí kíní kan. They can see that there is sense in what you are saying. They will be able to take that risk and give you the money. When they give you the money, one of the things that we do, especially when we lend money, ọ̀tọ̀ ni fífún, ọ̀tọ̀ ni yíyá, a gbọ́dọ̀ lè separate between mo fún ẹ or mo bùn ẹ or mo yá ẹ. Most of the time as human beings, a máa ń da gbogbo ẹ̀ pọ̀. There is one adage that say owó olówó àti owó ẹni kọ́lọ́ má fi kọ̀ọ̀kan yá wa ń bẹ̀ àbí kọ́lọ́ má fi wọ́n wa owó olówó àti no owó olówó is owó olówó. We cannot take owó olówó as. So even if it is your parents or even your spouse, your husband can borrow you money. There's a difference. If your husband borrows you money, know that he has borrowed you the money. There's a difference that of me or Moyai. So you can say we hear a lot of slangs. Sometimes we even hear sisters, ìdí ògbódò jẹ owó. I'm honored as Muslims because it is your husband. Let us be able to be honest and trustworthy. You can use the money and wanting to return it back because you have used it efficiently. The person can say, oh, my lolo, or mopue, or your parents have seen that and you have done so well. Don't worry, má kó jáde so that the business gbogbo akutu jọ ní mi náà jẹ́ kó máa grow sí. That is different. But when they borrow you the money because they are your friends or your family àǹtí mi kí ló àǹtí mi fẹ́ fowó sí owó pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn wọ́n lówó rẹpẹtẹ ní sẹ́bì tó bá mọ iye tó ń gbà ní sálárì wọ́n ti wá náà wọ́n yá mi ní dá padà no because wọ́n ti ní ẹni tí ó yá bóyá ẹgbẹ̀rún tó san ó dínà ẹgbẹ̀je. So if you have borrowed 10,000 today and you are not returning it, you can't get the next 20,000 from that person even if the person has. The person will keep telling you owó pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ mi mo dẹ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lo owó yẹn sí nǹkan kan lánàá ni tó bá jẹ́ pé àná ìwòye àná ló wá ni I would have been able to give you that money but today I cannot because you are not honest with people's fund. Number 3, we call it retained earnings. Retained earnings ní pé nígbà tí a bá ti yọ gbogbo expenses wa nínú ọjà kàtà tàwa ní net profit. This is owó tó wá jẹ́ èrè wa pátápátá. That money again can never be your money that you go and spend or use it. There's something we call retained earning. Nínú owó yẹn a gbọ́dọ̀ dá fraction of that money padà sínú business tó bá fẹ́ kí business gbòòrò sí or else business yẹn ò ní grow. Akọ̀mọ́ wà lójú tẹ́ pé 200 la fi ń ṣe business 200 yẹn náà là ń lò business yẹn ò kọjá 200,000. But nínú èrè yẹn tó bá ń dá padà we realize that our business and all these funds kò bẹ́ẹ̀ wù dé kò jẹ́ pé yọ̀ọ́ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa ronú ẹ̀wọ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi you would not. So and then sale of assets. There's what we call sale of assets. Sale of assets is that you can have some equipment, some machines that you are using. Bóyá business ẹ ti wá tóbi bóyá bakery ni mo ní or mo ń ránṣọ there are some machines tí mo ń lò tẹ́lẹ̀. My business has outgrown it and I can no longer use it. Rather than just keeping it, you can sell it. Some people need it. Some people are just starting. They can use that wherever and you will have some money that is coming back for you to be able to use for something else. You can even use it to buy the bigger one that you want to buy and add it to it. Rather than just keeping it inside our warehouse or at home, we keep. In this part of the world, we don't know how to declutter. Actually, I'm going to go to more than eléyìí alásọ̀tà lò mọ́ àmà kò sílẹ̀ alẹ́lẹ̀ tá lò mọ́. If you cannot sell, you can drag it out rather than just keep stocking everything together. Then we have depreciation provision. Depreciation going to that. Then we look at sources of external funding. Equity, that's what we call equity financing. Equity financing comes in 2 ways: the share capital or venture capital. That is when you have people that you want to bring into your business and they will hold part of your business. So you want the Kokolo Madani, you can't have the 100. You might be the largest shareholder, but some people are holding maybe 30% of the business, 20% of the business to be able to fund that business. So that means that for the risk and the liability and the asset becomes, you share it together and you are not thinking of returning. Debt financing is another one. Debt financing is when you approach banks to wanting to borrow money or cooperative debt. A whole lot. That is what we call debt financing. It could be bank loans, it could be in form of bond. Then we have number 3, grant is another form of external financing. Grant. The two sisters that start for the business discussion, they are benefited from grants. And grants are funds that you get that you're not returning them back. It could be from some NGOs, it could be from donors, it could be from government that you can approach to be able to expand your business. Then trade credit. Trade credit is the tabak bauja lawin. Bóyá mo ń ṣe cake, ó ní supplier mi kan tí mo máa lọ gba flour, tàbí mo ní farm kan tí máa gba ẹyin lọ́wọ́ wọn, tí bá ti ṣe cake tí bá ti tà, you will be able to go back and refund their money. It's a form of fund, and that is another cheap fund. Wọ́n fi owó kankan sí ní ìlọ́ya. Okay, o bí agreement after 3 days, lẹ́yìn ọ̀sẹ̀ kan, lẹ́yìn a matter of time. Bóyá náà ọjà ni mo ti ń gbà, lágbájá tó gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, ó máa mọ lágbájá rí. Eléyìí máa sọ̀rọ̀ pé kọ́kọ́mà mi ìdẹ̀rẹ̀ ó péjọ mẹ́ta, ó ń rajà kò sanwó. Kálẹ̀ pé nítorí, ó mà ṣe rajà lọ́wọ́ mi lánàá náà nínú ìmá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa òbí àmà dáwọ́ tí ń padà, you realize that you are not returning it and people begin to know and you are not credit worthy, nobody is giving you finances. Leasing is another form of fund. When Sister Amina was talking that equipment for her to be able to produce, to be able to process, that they are quite expensive that you cannot actually buy. She could lease. People that have those equipment, you can use it rather than you are investing your money to buy that asset. Especially when you know that I cannot maximize it. Tí bá lọ ra equipment yìí mo máa lò lẹ́yìn. Ó tún máa tó bí oṣù kan kí n tó ní ìdẹ̀. You are just tying money down. You are not getting value for your money. So in such cases, you need to go and lease, partner with someone that has that equipment. Owó process cassava lẹ́yìn, o process potato lẹ́yìn. I can go and do the processing and I pay that person. So those are two. So when we are talking about debt funding, we have some Islamic banks that we can approach. Jais, Lotus, Hard Banks, there are more awareness, and I'm sure that we will not be talking about interest, riba, that Islamically it's wrong. There are also cooperatives that we can form cooperatives amongst ourselves. We talk about collaboration. As business owners, Muslims, we can come together, 5 of us, 10 of us, Eje Kamadajo. Whatever you can get, bóyá lóṣooṣù ni o, bóyá lọ́sẹ̀ẹ̀sẹ̀ ni, lágbájá kó ó add expenses. Those are other forms of finances that can be. So, move. You can move. Let me move. Just move. So as an entrepreneur, I would like to share my story briefly. For me, since I was young, my parents are entrepreneurs and I've been working with them. So I've had that mindset to also become an entrepreneur. So while I was in the university and I was studying geology, I was thinking that I was going to start something. Not while in school, after school. And I had that target that I had given myself that maybe post NYSC, max of 2 years, I would have been able to save money to start something up. But along the line, I met my husband, and of course, while we were talking, I realized I had that entrepreneur spirit, and we're looking at, oh, what do you want to do in this and this? And our goals actually aligned. But we're not even thinking of coming together. So for me, I had started saving my money. And that is why I say that no matter how small you are, if you cannot save, then the future you might not have clarity about the future. No matter how small it is, I had always been saving. While I was in the university, my monthly allowance of stipends that I was collecting, out of my close friends that were together, I was the one earning the least, and I'm the one that will still save out of that money. In 3 weeks, you see my friends, they are going on. For me, it's a discipline that I'm giving myself. I'm not even going to go. I see that it is monthly allowance. So, months before I go back to say that I need money. But even out of that money, I had been saving, even as small as it looks. So, by the time I started, I left university, NYSC, I had determination that as much as possible, I was going to save from my monthly allowance. And as Allah will have it, I actually got married during NYSC. And all the money I collected from my whatever, I saved them intact. I didn't spend. One thing that happens in today is that we have a lot of sisters. I'm sure that we have some people that are not married, but they have their dream wedding that they are thinking of. Please, we must be people of moderation. When we talk about moderation, it might be in relative to the total amount that you have. Moderation to me might mean that it is if I want to have wedding for my daughter, moderation might be looking at 1 billion naira. Moderation to my mom there, she might be thinking it is 500,000 because it is relative to the total of money that you have. But as sisters that are seated here that you are not married, please, your nikah responsibility, leave it for your parents. It is not your thing. We have a lot of things that people put their money as a bride. They want to do this. They are doing a whole lot of things. The money that they can use to start up something, they have spent it on the nikah. And Allah of nikah, so that it is not something that even after a while, because the rate of divorce now is even alarming, and it's not a discussion for today. So, bottom line, I had my money. So after during NYSC, myself and I, we got into discussion, and we were talking about rather you want to start your business, can't we come together and start together? And I started thinking about it. I prayed about it. Will it work out, or will it be that let me just do my own? Let him do his own. At the end of the day, or at the end of the day, I had a condition that we can come together. So all my money that I've been saving throughout my NYC, my federal, I never spent. It was my state allowance that I was depending on. But one of the things that I would always remember is that those days it was 4,000 that were earning as the state allowance. And one thing that happened to some of us was during the days of Ladoja in 2005. I remember December 2005 that they gave us 13th month salary. And you know, when I got that 13th month salary, I said, I've been suffering because that 4,000, I'll have to get transportation. I do this out of that money, feeding my lunch was coming from me. So when I had that 13th month salary, I said, oh well, at least I will have money to spend. Let me even treat myself. And I spent that money. But behold, you know what happened in 2006 January? That was the impeachment of Ladoja, and we had the Akala regime, and they told us that our 13th month salary was half of our January salary. So I had spent, and I had to move Gary. So we started Vanguard Pharmacy. For those of you that will know Vanguard Pharmacy, you see the branches of Vanguard Pharmacy today. That was not how we started. We started somewhere around Church Abede shopping complex. It's a very small store. And when we're starting, it wasn't as if there was so much product on the shelf. We were believing and trusting in Allah that we were going to grow. But because we understand the financial literacy, we kept learning. And even though I was not a pharmacist, I kept inquiring. At the early stage, I wanted to go back to school to study pharmacy. I was thinking, how can I be involved in something that I will not have an in-depth knowledge? Because that is where knowledge is. Knowledge is very, very important for you to excel and be successful. And I realized that there were no short courses, there were no certification courses. And those days, I used to say that some courses of some professions, they are occultic in nature. They don't even have any small whatever that they can give you that you can benefit. You have to go to school, start, and I realized that I begin to weigh the points, the pros and cons, and see if I have to go back to school, spend 5 years, what will become of this business? So I realized that I couldn't go back to study pharmacy. But all the books of pharmacy, drugs and all those things I was reading, not because I wanted to have a degree, but because I wanted to have a knowledge in what we were doing. And that took us. Then after a while, of course my husband did his MBA, and all the knowledge, he was always bringing it. Immediately after that, I was thinking, what next? I must improve myself. I can't sit down here. I want to do something. Okay, I want to do MBA. And he said, I've done MBA. While doing MBA, we were discussing all the things, talking about bookkeeping, double entry ledger, all those things. I didn't do business studies or all those things. The knowledge was from our discussion, what were we looking at? And because I was searching for knowledge. But at a point in time, I had to say, I need to go to a business school. And in 2015, I went back to Lagos Business School to be able to. And one of the things that really gave us the confidence to be able to branch out, because our second branch was in 2015, after we had gotten that conviction that we understand and we can actually branch out. And today, we will see the vanguard of the rest is history. So what are the barriers that women face in achieving economic empowerment? We have talked about limited access to financial funds. We've said how we can get funds, culture and social restrictions. Even as Muslims that we talk about knowledge and all that, there are still some restrictions that they place on women. You will still see, no, ìyàwó ọmọ mi ò lè ṣiṣẹ́ o, ìyàwó ọmọ mi ò lè ṣe kíní kan, ta ló máa tọ́jú ilé, ta ló máa ṣe a lot of work those things. But even with those restrictions, you can do a whole lot of things from your own. Don't just relax and say that, at least my husband is providing. It's not only about your husband providing for you, your children and many. What about your extended family? As females, we were sent to school and our parents were looking forward to saying that at least gbogbo investment náà làwọn ṣe. Ọmọ àwọn, because ó jẹ́ ọmọ obìnrin, does not mean that you should now be looking. You that are still struggling to meet whatever your husband has given you, what happens to your immediate, your extended family, your parents? You have an aged mother, the husband is dead, what happens? So we should not put all those restrictions on ourselves. In terms of uncertainty, who knows what will happen tomorrow? The husband that everybody you are dependent on could lose his or her job. There could be issues. What will happen? How will you want to sustain your family pending the time? Fear and low confidence. There are a lot of things that they will always say that women cannot do. So because of the fear, again, as women, if I do it and I fail, Timba say that I'm business for it. Oh, I lost money. I'm sure that we heard from Sister Shakira when she was doing importation business, the business failed because of the uncertainty and the volatility of the environment. But the reality is that so because you have failed, you should not stay so long on the floor. You must get up, stand up and pick the teachings and the learning from why you failed to be able to do something else and progress. So practical steps towards financial employment. The reality of financial empowerment, you need to start now. Start small, start now. In today's era, we have so much of information. Information is at our disposal. What do we use our phones for? There are a lot of things. When I'm asking my children, how do you do this? What is? They'll say, Mommy, Google it. Google it. Google is there. What do we use it for? There are a lot of information that we can type it. How do you do? Just think. But the most interesting thing is that when you are researching or you are trying to Google, you realize that no matter how dumb that you think that the question you want to ask Google. Some people have asked Google before. You will just see it. Me, keep career. I'm seeing the whole thing as if he knows what is running through your mind, because some people have actually done it. Continuous learning is something that we have to keep doing. You can't say because I've had my BSc, OND, HND, you must keep moving and ensure that whatever knowledge or the learning you are going to be, it should be important to what you are currently doing. Because you said you should continue to learn. Don't go and put your money in things that the return on investment to what you are currently doing is not going to be beneficial to you. You can attend financial literacy training, webinars, business seminars. There are a lot of Islamic finance podcasts. YouTube, you will see a whole lot of things. But as much as possible, we must also be able to see the knowledge that we are picking, so that sometimes some of those knowledge, information might be baseless. They might not have basis and all that. So don't just take everything hook, line, and center and digest it like that. As Muslims, we must adopt halal financing practices, avoid interest. As Banker Pharmacy, we've never done any form of bank loan. We have our financial partners. We partner with Lotus so that we take away any form of interest or riba. Building entrepreneurship, please, you can start small ventures. We've seen people that have started businesses from within their house and they have gone to enterprise and become a bigger business. Networking and collaboration is very important. The people that you have met here, to the people sitting beside you, do you have their number? Do you know their name? Do you know what they do? The information you are looking for might just be seated right next to you. We need to grow together. What are the roles that the community and the institution have? As families, please, as parents, as mothers that were treated there, we must encourage our daughters. Some things that but the reality is that what are we training our children with? It should not be that again they will fall inside that ditch of people that we have found ourselves in. Programs like this, the mosque, there are programs, communities and all, they should come with programs to be able to empower Muslim women. And of course, government support in terms of grants and all that. So call to action, my dear sisters. Economic empowerment will begin with a decision. And the decision is to learn, take charge of your finances and grow. Be intentional about learning how money works. Support one another's business ventures. Build wealth ethically and give back generously. As Muslim women, one of the pillars of Islam is zakat. How many of us actually do zakat? We will say zakat. Are we building ourselves to ensure that zakat? Those are things that, and that is what can help in alleviating poverty. Because we have few people that are that have contributed that zakat, we still have lots of poverty in our environment. The small sadaqah that we can do, let us do it. A financial literate woman is not only an empowered individual, but a builder of home institutions and legacies. We can have female legacies, like the one that Khadija Radiallahu built and we all learned about. Through entrepreneurship, Muslim women can create jobs, they can solve community problems and demonstrate that success and spirituality can coexist beautifully. So it is not about only spirituality, but of course entrepreneurship. The Prophet ﷺ said that seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim, and this includes financial and entrepreneurial knowledge that helps us fulfill our duties and responsibilities. Let the next generation of Muslim girls see in us an example of women who are spiritually grounded, financially wise, and socially impactful. Think of Muslim women in trade, fashion, catering, skincare, or tech. Those who understand pricing, budgeting, and customer value, they grow faster than those who just try their luck. We should not put our business on just luck, and that's why the Prophet ﷺ recommended us that we should tie our camel. Not just that I'm a follower, we should not do our business based on just luck or anything. Financial literacy actually turns your your hustle into enterprise. Everybody is a hustler. We are all hustling, but we must be able to take it beyond that hustling and to the next level. Teach a man, you educate an individual. Teach a woman, you educate a nation. May Almighty Allah grant us the wisdom, discipline, and the means to use our wealth in the way that actually pleases Him. As we keep striving, we should ensure that as Muslims, even when we are able to create this wealth, we should still be subservient to our husband. Don't let us see ourselves as being bigger than our husband, so that it would not be an uja against us on the day of the Qiyamah.
Ọlọ́run bàbá kẹ́yìn a máa pè yẹn máa dáhùn Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ má lè dáhùn ìmọ̀tẹ́ náà kò ní tán bẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ yín la rímọ yín nínú wá ń dùn kò ní bàjẹ́.
Ká gbọ́ béèrè yẹn torí àwọn arúgbó òṣìṣẹ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ da mẹ́sàpò wọ́n bá tajà 10 naira wọ́n á fọ̀gà ní 100 90 70 àwọn akó 30 naira wọ́n á tún máa dájọ́ níbi iṣẹ́ oníṣẹ́ wọ́n ní báwo la ṣe lè dẹ́kun nǹkan báyìí ìbéèrè wọn nìyẹn ṣé ká máa dáhùn ẹlẹ́yọkọ̀.
Theft in business.
Mama Basinian jẹ́.
Theft and business máa ní 5 and 6 ni wọ́n jọ ń lọ hands ní lè separate wọn. We can't take away theft in business. You can only reduce and manage it. A máa ń sọ wípé ní ìlú wa tó jẹ́ pé technology gan ò tí kúná tó bẹ̀. Tábà wo àwọn ìlú òyìnbó wọ́n máa ní wọ́n ní a lot of technologies and all that. Tábà máa gbọ́ data pilfering, internal pilfering and shoplifting. A rí i pé ó pọ̀. Tábà ń sọ̀rọ̀ theft kò ń ṣe òṣìṣẹ́ nìkan. Láyé ìgbà kan ní US tí wọ́n ní data dáadáa wọ́n máa ń ní internal pilfering ní ó máa ń òun ló lérí bí ọjà ṣe máa ń dín jù followed by shoplifting àwọn tó wá rajà fúnra wọn èrò pọ̀ nínú wọn gan tó wá jalè níbo jẹ́ pé wọ́n wá ra ọjà and a ti rí i pé gbogbo technology tá à ń fi into places náà ó máa bá wa reduce ẹ̀ ní so it's good that we have processes so that a lè reduce ẹ̀ kò lè tán because even bí wọ́n ṣe ń try láti dẹ́kun ẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ tó fẹ́ jalè náà wọ́n ronú láti lè crack so when they talk about cyber security wọ́n máa ní àwọn kan náà iṣẹ́ tó kọ́ ni láti hack gbogbo securities yẹn so bó ṣe wà nínú business yẹn but ẹni tó jẹ́ ní process tó mọye inventory tó ní tó jẹ́ kó fọ́jú ó kàn sáà kọjá wa ni kò mọye tó títí tó máa fi dín lọ ó yàtọ̀ sẹ́ni tó tiẹ̀ mọ̀ pé mẹ́wàá ni mo kó sí kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ata mẹ́ta méje ló kù báwo ló ṣe kù márùn tó rìn lọ ni tó dọ̀fẹ́ ni tájọ̀dún ló wọlé ni irú èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ó máa reduce so engaging with the staff is one of the things that would help láti máa bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ lóòrèkóòrè wípé business yìí tí a bá jẹrun everybody ló máa padà lọ síta tó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa wáṣẹ́ they are going to increase the population of unemployment but tí a bá ṣe tó ga even tẹ́ bá lọ àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n bí they will be able to benefit and we will say that in the US people are so they preserve their businesses their heritage their businesses jẹ́ pé àwọn tó ní ìran kẹta ìran kẹrin làwọn tó wà ń bẹ̀ bísíǹsì míì àwọn tó mánéjẹ̀ gan kò ń ṣe àwọn tó dálẹ̀ wọ́n ti kú wọ́n ti lọ gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wọn ti lọ àwọn bísíǹsì yẹn sì wà nítorí pé àwọn tó ń bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ gan wọ́n ní interest àwọn aráàlú gan wọ́n believe pé bísíǹsì yẹn ò gbọ́dọ̀ kú torí àwọn ọmọ wọn náà máa ṣiṣẹ́ ń bẹ̀ so enlightenment of the staff we encourage whistleblowing so tó bá rí tó bá sọ not having the mentality iṣẹ́ bàbá ẹ̀ ni èwo ló kàn mí tẹ́mi ò bá ti jalè ẹni tó ń ja mi ìsínbẹ̀ but we will say aiding and abetting because you have seen and you are not talking. That means you are aiding the person don't jí indirectly. So all those enlightenments can help them processes that you can see. Tí wọ́n bá sọnù mo mọ̀ kó sọnù bóyá CCTV camera a lè rẹni tó mu so those are the things that I can say about them.
Ẹ ṣe máa mọ́tò yìí ó ń cause obstruction DBJ.
Ada ṣẹ́rí àwọn èèyàn náà èèyàn human being wa àwọn èèyàn máa wò báwọn fẹ́ ṣe bọ̀bọ̀ táwọn náà bá máa wo conscience wọn. Although I'm wò pé kò ṣe pé èèyàn náà ló ní conscience but we are too bad to those that work under you. Àwọn èèyàn máa ṣe èèyàn jàǹbá. Then those people around you too, around the vicinity of your shop, ẹ ṣe dáadáa sí wọn. I have a friend that has a shop. Ọmọ tó gbà sí ṣọ́ọ̀bù yẹn ó ti ń jí nǹkan ẹ̀ bọ̀ ṣe mọ̀ pé ìjọ pé èèyàn kan ló ta ló lobó tó sọ fún pé sì ó tún sọ́ka ẹni tó lọ ṣe mọ̀ káwọn èèyàn kan tẹ́lẹ̀ kù gan èèyàn ń jí nǹkan ṣọ́ọ̀bù oníṣọ́ọ̀bù ó tún lọ ń tọ́jú ẹ̀ sọ́dọ̀ another person ẹni yẹn lè gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ knowing really well that this person does not have a shop ó bá yàn tajà ni but tí a bá jẹ́ yàn dáadáa fún àwọn tó bá wà ṣẹ́ dẹ̀ sí àwọn tó wà ládùúgbò ibi tí a wà náà they will be able to help us. Thank you very much.
Ẹjọ́ kí ni model mọ́tò yẹn o? Wọ́n ti lọ Ọlọ́run ṣe ìbéèrè míì.
And your grants because I know that someone told me that you have received a lot of grants and you know how to pitch your business very well.
Àbí o. Kẹ̀tíkẹ́tì pẹ́sọ̀ yẹn. Bí ọ̀dì máa ń manage business.
So concerning grants, the first thing I would like to say is your preparedness. Are you ready to put in the effort? Yes, I've won some grants, but I put in that effort. Nobody did it for me. No free money anywhere, and that's also the second thing I would say. People feel that grants comes easily, but you have to put in the work, you have to put in the effort, you have to apply by yourself, you have to know your business through in and out. Even when you are sleeping, when they ask you questions about your business, you have to be able to answer. You have to be able to face a panel of judges, you only with your product, with your business. Also, the next thing I would like to say is confidence. Nobody knows your business like you do. You are the one that started this. You know the reason why you started. You know the passion that keeps you going. So I would like to say that confidence also matters. The first grant I won, I was not confident enough. Even I already made it up my mind that I won't be one of the winners. And it was just one winner out of 7 people that pitched. And what the judges said at that time in 2022 was that they saw the passion in me. I was the only one that brought my product along with me. I was able to show them the real work. Nobody wants to believe in an ideal state. Even though you have a business and you don't have something to do for it, they do not see in your track record that you have a business. They cannot find you online on social media that you have a business. So do you have a business? Even if you sell a biro, a pencil, they cannot search for you on social media to see if that's really what you do. People want to invest on real things. They don't just want to invest on whatever you tell them. They want to invest on what you said, what you told them, and the track record that you have over the years. So first, I would also like to say that invest in your social media presence. They now tell you what is not social media. If they cannot find you online, they will feel that you are not doing something good. I have my sister here. I'm still learning on the journey, but she's a guru in social media. And we also have our colleagues there that whenever they decide to go on that social media journey, they give themselves a target of what they want to do. Maybe like a challenge per month, they want to post 10 times in a day, 5 times in a day. No, I don't do that, but I make sure that I put in what I do on social media. People can find me, and even on TikTok now, people can search for what they want. Sometimes around last month, people were looking for orange flesh sweet potato flour, and when they search for it, according to SEO, search engine optimization, when people search for something online that they want to get, it depends on how you, as a business owner, are be able to utilize hashtags, your social
media presence, that's when it will bring your own business to them when they search for it. So fortunately, when they search for orange fleshy potato flour in Ibadan, they were able to see my business comes up. So it's because of what I've been posting and the proof that of business that I've also had. So that's the first thing judges also look at, your social media presence. They don't want to believe that you are just doing business in your own, but if they cannot find you online, they will feel you are telling lies. So, and according to also judges, branding matters a lot as well. As a business owner, even if it's just little things that you are doing. Oh, okay. Okay. About paying access àwọn grants yẹn. Nǹkan tó ṣe pàtàkì ni pé ká ní social media presence. Whatever tá à ń ṣe, ká make sure pé à ń post ẹ̀ lórí social media. Make sure you are posting it on social media. Ó lè má jẹ́ ojoojúmọ́ o, but kan ṣàmọ̀ pé tẹ́ bá lọ pitch, wọ́n máa fẹ́ ṣàtìyàn online yìí pé ṣé kò tọ́ lẹ̀ ṣe nǹkan tẹ̀ ṣe tí èṣe pé wá represent èèyàn ni. Because àwọn èèyàn lè sọ pé èèyàn ṣe nǹkan sí kó kàn ra ọjà lọ́wọ́ ẹnìkan kó sọ pé òun lòún ṣe. So àwọn èèyàn wọ́n máa fẹ́ mọ̀ bóyá truly ìwọ ló ń ṣe. Ìgbà míì gan tẹ́ bá lọ déwájú wọn, wọ́n máa béèrè yìí pé show me the video of where you are preparing that product. So wọ́n máa serve as encouragement, wọ́n máa serve as confidence proof for them wípé òótọ́ ni kò tá à ń ṣe. And our speakers were to mention on also financial literacy. Record keeping is very important. Nobody kò sí anybody tó fẹ́ invest lórí àwọn business owner tí ò bá keep record. Wọ́n fẹ́ mọ iye tẹ́ ti pa látìgbà tẹ́ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ business. Even kan tẹ́ bá keep record látìgbà tẹ́ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ make it up nísìnyí pé by 2026 láti January any record keeping iye tẹ́ ń pa lójoojúmọ́, iye tó ń wọlé sínú àkáǹtì yín. Some of the applications nísìnyí kan tán máa bèrè ní pé show me your record keeping for at least 6 months. Show me your record keeping for at least 1 year. Even if you keep record, they want to see that business that you are doing have a name to it in the bank. You are so business owner, want to achieve, clinical chips. That business name must also have a business account. Don't put your sales inside your own personal account. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká máa sọ pé ẹ̀ ń ta nǹkan sí kó jẹ́ pé account number ara yín lẹ́lọ́ máa fún ẹni tó fẹ́ rajà lọ́wọ́ yín. Tẹ́ bá ní business account, ó máa fún yín ní ọ̀rẹ́ tó máa determine iye tẹ́ ń pa, iye tó ń wọlé nínú ọjà yín. Ẹ máa mọ ibi tí improvement wà láti yẹ kẹ́ ẹ ṣe. Bóyá marketing ni, bóyá more marketing ni o, bóyá more distributors ni, ẹ máa lè track record yẹn dáadáa. So first thing, financial record, ẹ make sure pé à ń keep record dáadáa. Any application bá jáde ń sìn, wọ́n máa sọ pé submit your financial statement for 6 months, for 1 year, something like that. So record keeping is very important. Even though that was still ready láti máa apply sí, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbogbo criteria yẹn pé a fẹ́ get ready, you have to be prepared. Those things you have to put it in place. Also, by 2026 now, we have the new tax law by the federal government. So even tó bá ń ṣe iṣẹ́ ara ẹ nínú ilé, there are taxes on your business. You might not know that, but immediately we enter January, you will see that people do not want to deal with business owner that does not have tax identification number. So your business must have a tax identification number because many big businesses now, big companies now, they want to be associated with people that they will be able to record their VAT, equal any tax identification number. So taba wà níbi ìsìn tax a business, tax register business wà pẹ̀lú CAC. Oda ọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ register pẹ̀lú CAC. A lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti business name. Pẹ̀lú business name yẹn, a máa ní tax identification number. From there, a lè lo orúkọ yẹn ká lọ fi ṣí bank account. So those are the things tó máa prepare wa láti sọ pé a ready láti máa apply fún opportunities yìí.
Let me say personally, I'm someone that my strength is in the fact that I'm a very big risk taker. I can find that I want to plan this meeting. I will not figure out about how I want to do it. I'll just take that decision and I'll start looking for how to go about it. And luckily, my husband is someone that is very okay. My husband husband is very supportive. There are some men that get pride for saying their wife is successful. So I think the husband is someone like that. And the kind of family that I married into, you cannot be a lazy person. When I was going to get married, my brother-in-law called me and said that he has seen a lot of women that when they get married, they will say, he's married, he's children, not like they're not doing anything in their life. So he told me that I should tell him 3 things that I want to achieve or where I see myself in the next 10 years. And I should tell him plan A, plan B, plan C, that I intend to go about where I want to see myself in the next 10 years. So I wrote out the plans I had for myself and how I intend to go about it. And he said I should sign it and send it in, that he will keep reminding me. So I'm currently doing my master's. When people ask me why, I'm like, I have to do it, I have an agreement. So when you have people around you that keeps you active, that expect so much from you, you don't want to be lazy around as well. So managing home and business and work, because I still work as a pharmacist as well, is something that knowing that I have to do it, just the way we know that you have to wake up every day. Even if you don't want to wake up, you have to wake up. And I love the life for a family that understands, a husband that understands, and ability to just do everything together. I really don't say that I have a special skill. I just know that it is what I think I have to do, and I'm doing it. And about support in terms of finance. Last year I met Mrs. Olukoya at Shippings. She was a speaker on how businesses can raise financial support, can get financial support. So she mentioned friends and families that one thing you don't need to do is to ensure that you don't disappoint them. So if you're able to get the support once and you fulfill your promise, you can always get support subsequently. Another way to get support is by getting grants, which my sister here has been very beneficial. I also met her at that Shippings event. Shippings is a group of Muslim women in business. So I met her there last year where she was invited to come and talk about grants. So after that event, I also organized a small hangout between myself and about 20 other sisters. So I also invited her to come and teach us much more about grants, which she came, and that was when I learned, that was January this year, that was when I learned about how to apply for grants. And alhamdulillah, I've been able to get a grant for $5,000. I got it in August this year with a 12-month free community support, finance support, and also. And other people, I also know of the people that have also gotten another grant that is a training grant. Like there are different types of grants. There's training grant, there is business empowerment grant. Like when I went to Abuja for the grant event, I learned that I can win a grant to go and learn more about your work in Tanzania.